Hello and welcome back to Starcraft 1 Part 39, and in this episode, we will successfully start Eye of the Storm, the final mission for the Starcraft 1 campaign.
Tested our Raynor and Zeratul must survive. No.
Yep. The time for a stand has come.
Indeed, my friend. This is our the current function. No shit in this life from
We seek now to destroy a foe that has ravaged its way across the universe, consuming all in its path. Now, it has reached the end.
Dun.
The Overmind has come to destroy all that we hold dear.
Establish the stakes.
And I say to thee,
I'm gonna miss these little talking head exposition briefings.
Oh, don't worry, Cloud. We'll see some of these characters again.
In Brood War?
Yes.
Yay.
Well, I guess
Hi,
all
James.
I have left is to see this through. The Zerg have taken everything from me. My home, my family, my friends. I know that nothing I do can bring those things back. But I'll be damned if I just sit on my hands and wait for the end. I want a piece of them, all right. I'm in.
No, Raynor, you're more of a liability than an asset.
No, he's not. Because
But
after this, more
oh my
exposition.
god. So if you fail, you have to listen to this fucking shit like every time, or can you just get started immediately?
You can get started immediately, okay? But you're gonna have to listen to Alteris to try and fail to apologize at you.
You represent what is greatest in us all, and all our hopes go with you. Entaro Adun, brave sons of Ire.
Wow. Does that mean they're gonna send some backup for us?
Nope! Okay, so we have two bases, and you'll notice that we have two different side counts. We have both Protoss and Terran side counts.
Oh yeah, huh? Interesting. They should do that more often.
I don't know, honestly, because despite the fact that I'm better with Terran than I am with Protoss in StarCraft 1, we're still mostly using Protoss for this mission. I do not care about Raynor's base. I don't. We're gonna make sure that Raynor survives, but that's mostly by, well, grabbing what Vespane that we can from this area, and then not giving a shit about it anymore.
Can I just say that this is the first time I've actually seen control of two different factions at the same time.
Yes, and the fact that I'm a single player doing this is a bit you know, difficult for me because I am not actually good at this game.
What's even worse is an extremely novel approach to micromanagement.
Okay. Our
Oh,
extractor
and they're on,
is done.
they're on opposite corners of the map. Oh boy.
Over here, we are attempting to warp in some buildings,
I hear you.
and have Tassadar start building some interceptors on the Gandalf.
Your game. For the love of God.
One of my probes is just standing there doing nothing. Stop that.
Stop that. Stop that. Alright, I'm placing you under arrest for illegal possession of whatever it is you have back there.
Alright, so since we're going through the final mission of the StarCraft 1 campaign, I guess I should go over what all in all I think of StarCraft 1, at least the StarCraft 1 campaign. I actually really enjoy the StarCraft 1 campaign. I think that the Terran campaign specifically has got a decent flow of challenge until the very end. I think that the Zerg campaign specifically, because I am just absolutely terrible with Zerg, is actually the hardest of the campaigns. But it's still, you know, mostly doable until, again, pretty much the very end of the campaign. And the Protoss campaign mostly blows. I love the story for the Protoss campaign much more than the other two stories, but The problem is that I'm not good enough at the campaign to actually really enjoy what I'm doing most of the time. I end up depending on what is effectively a cheese and or dedication strategy in order to do pretty much anything in the Protoss campaign. And admittedly, I do that with with Zerg and Terran as well. But it's much less pronounced when I'm doing with Zerg and Terran because, well, it takes significantly less time.
Right, the greatest, as we have mentioned and elucidated on in previous parts, the Protoss suffer from a stupidly long development cycle that makes replaying missions with them pretty annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole idea is that we as, you know, you and I are both American citizens living in a capitalist economy. Time is money. So, the more time we spend doing this, the greater our opportunity cost, which causes great frustration.
Also, Tassadar isn't a goddamn carrier, which makes a great deal of sense at the end for the ending cutscene, but for gameplay, it's fucking terrible.
So
I really wish he was either in a Dragoon or he was a High Templar, because if he was High Templar specifically, I could use him in order to scout out the enemy bases. I found the Overmind.
Yay. And he's right in the dead fucking center of the map. And that's why we're doing Dragoons.
Yeah, because if you notice, there were a fuck ton of Scourge and anti-air defenses up there. So yeah, we're not doing aerial units. We're doing Dragoons again.
It's just what the mission calls for. Dun, 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 dun. I would
Queuing
think
up multiple commands at once is nice.
if you're looking for grounded units, wouldn't that make the Terra Marines also a viable option for this map?
They would be with the oh goddamn! How the fuck did Hyperion get hurt so bad?
Oh, God damn it! I turned my back for 1 second. You guys fucking fall in the mud. Follow him.
We've actually done a pretty significant jump cut. That's why you'll notice that this base is taking some pretty heavy damage now. I've also done some concept scanning around the map. We have a full platoon of Dragoons set up in order to defend the Protoss expansion that we took, and we're starting to supply this base with slightly more defenses for the oncoming Guardian onslaught. Raider's base is actually much better for gathering minerals than the Protoss starting base, but it only has one Vespene geyser, whereas the Protoss starting base has got 2 Vespene geysers and a pretty easy to take expansion to the north.
I see they had placed the Overmind as a pretty big cleaver between the corners of the map you have control of. They can't really support each other right now, and it's exacerbated by that they have to take stupidly long pathways just to join up.
Yeah. I will say, however, that one of the best things about this mission is the fact that Rainer's in the Hyperion, so he actually has the ability to, fly over shit if I do some pretty significant scouting.
Yeah, and then Raynor can take out their anti-air cannons because his range is longer than theirs.
No, he cannot, because the Yamato gun does not kill spore colonies.
Fuck. Damn it. I guess
No, I don't know why the Yamato gun doesn't kill spore colonies, but it doesn't.
Let me just say also for the 100,000th time that when I look at Dragoons, they remind me of the 4-legged robots from Panic Puppet Zone and Sonic 3D Blast.
It's not crab meat, is it?
We are building lots of Dragoons, 'cause we're going to... You can't build over there.
It's okay, Cloud. I understand your frustration.
I feel right at home. Seeing little just a whole army of just goons that remind me of childhood times and nostalgia. This game puts me in a good place.
I enjoy this game a lot too. Specifically the camp. I accidentally drug a probe up here. I was not supposed to do that. Here, I'm fixing your pathing. There.
I finally.
I enjoy the Starcraft 1 campaign. I do. I think it's a bit hard at the tail end, but honestly, it's probably supposed to be that hard, given that they want you to actually have, increased in your micromanaging skills. Plague has ripped this segment of Dragoons in half. Fuck Plague.
Dang.
But yeah, I actually go back to play the StarCraft 1 campaign, not all the way through, but bits and pieces of it, about once a year. Like, I am always trying to challenge Jonah to a race through the whole game, and Jonah keeps telling me I don't have time. And he's right, he doesn't have time, because a race through the whole campaign runs somewhere between 10 and 20 hours usually, if you're decent at it.
Alright, well, if all you're doing is just paying attention to the game clock, then you can totally, keep a race going. It's just an asynchronous race.
And that's the thing. When the timings get asynchronous, a lot of my friends start saying, "No, it's no longer worth it. You went ahead without me," or, "Well, I'm so far ahead of you in game time now. You can't possibly catch up, right?" To which I get to say, I might be able to catch up, and then 2 days later, "Hey, I finished the campaign. Where are you?" And they say, "I'm on mission 5 of Zerg."
That's honestly, that reminds me of a very real phenomenon that I see in bowling leagues. In bowling leagues, if you're on, for those who are not aware, you're on like a 4-player team going up against other 4-player teams in league style. You get a handicap. It's a team handicap that is applied at the beginning of each of the however many games are in the league series. So if you're staring down a starting deficit of, let's say, 160, you're gonna be struggling for pretty much the whole game, because you're gonna be spending the whole game behind. You have to play well, because that's why your handicap is lower, and it just puts a lot of pressure on you. Honestly, I've probably seen my buddies lose more often when they're facing a heavy deficit at the onset, and I think that is comparable to trying to beat a stupidly low game completion timer.
Okay. But Pascadet is very angry because, as we just pointed out, the Jormungand brood has exactly 2 probes, two drones on resource gathering, and yet they are able to throw relatively constant and/or consistent attack forces at us, specifically at our Protoss outpost that we have problems defending. Oh look, they hit us with Plague. Oh. God damn it!
Oh yeah, they are up in the ante on the attacks every time. That's what makes it cool. Got a power creep.
It's not really power creep though. They're just flat out cheating.
Well, fuck it. Yugi's got Raigeki. I have Gemini Elf.
But it's not a matter. It's not a matter of their. It's not really the same as that, honestly. Because when Yugi cheats, Yugi is cheating because the story demands that he wins this. That demands that he wins this fight. When the computer is cheating, they are. See, look, it is one fucking drone. Exactly one drone, and our Zeratul is down to 1 HP because he got hit by Plague.
Damn it. No, they do get better, right? I fail to remember at the moment.
No, they don't.
What?
Zeratul will have full shield for the rest of the game, but he'll always be at 1 HP.
Now kill yourselves. Make room for the fresh ones. You have way too much Psy right now.
I have way too much Vespane.
And you have way too much Psy. Build more.
I have way too much open psi I'll cramp, but, you know, I don't have too much psi yet. I'm not up to 200.
By this stage
I'm not up to 200 yet.
Yeah.
So.
By this stage in the game, yeah, you should have lots of psi, but your psi should also be pretty close to your available inventory. Torakalar.
Yes, Tassadar is awesome.
I am cool. That poor guy is fucking trapped.
And in the next part, we will finally finish the StarCraft 1 campaign, which again, I enjoy, but I really dislike the difficulty spike that we have to deal with towards the end on each of the campaigns. Although it's not so bad on the Terran one, honestly. It's just really noticeable for Zerg and Protoss on their last 2 missions.
And this is why they're at war, because this is what galactic cooperation looks like.
Yep.